Do you remember how in preparation for 2023, I was like, okay, we're gonna, let's do this special thing, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and I am just like being so bossy. And then I have to send you the message like,
Right. We were
you
doing the
know,
intimate because we ended up doing just the intimate conversation,
the
the
intimate
intimate love.
conversation
We were supposed to do the
session,
big party.
and I had to be like, actually,
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
not gonna be able to travel. And I had no idea. I was already pregnant at that time, and I had no idea yet. I had no idea yet, and y'all still made it beautiful. And I was again so jealous because I was like, I should be there.
It's Josh Renee, aka Indie Love. I have the pleasure of having two of my favorite people with me today to talk about Indie Love and our 10 years and what we've been through and all of the great things that have happened over the past 10 years. So I have Miss Love Belvin and CCJ, Christina C. Jones. These are two people who I slid in their inbox and was like, okay, I have this idea. Mind you, my nerves was bad, but I had already had a reputation with the both of you. I
Yeah,
had book clubs with both of y'all, virtual. We was doing virtual phone book clubs before we
yep,
even went virtual. And I was rocking with CCJ way before I came in contact with Love Velvet. I am an OG. I like to say I'm one of her OGs. When I first slid in your DMs, what did you guys think? Were y'all like, what is this? What she want to do? What is she trying to do?
yeah. I remember us both being like very like, or definitely for sure, love being like, yeah, we need that.
Like,
Like,
what?
yeah,
About darn time. Oh,
yeah,
heck yeah. Really excited. I was like, do it, whatever you need. I've been trying to get people in our community to do it for us because
yep,
we were still kind of babies and we needed to get out talking to CCJ about it. Because again, I think the year before, I was literally recruiting people in the book
yeah,
who are not authors. Hey, do this. We don't have the time to plan something like this. Like, you're
yeah,
enthusiastic about the work in the community. Like, let's go next level. I'm always a cheerleader. And it just didn't launch because it wasn't organic.
yeah.
And then, everything was aligned. God has everything aligned. And then you came and I was like, hey, hey.
Yeah.
And I was
Like you could even tell the difference in the way that like the readers responded. Almost like Indie Love had to create like a whole new culture around signing events because the way that the way that the operations were completely different. And we of course didn't have the experience because we had never done this before, and so we were really counting on like people like you who had been to the other events, like as not just people who had been to the events as readers, but readers who were enthusiastic enough to say, hey, I feel like I can do this. And I feel like these authors, I feel like this section of authors over here is not getting the shine that they need. And so, like,
What is
yeah,
one thing that you would say stands out the most, or is there a year that stands out the most?
For me, year one and 2022, uh, those two were because the first year, 16, we didn't know what the heck we were
hmm
doing.
yep,
We were establishing ourselves and we were trying to figure out, we didn't know how many books to order and all those things, but I just knew we were coming and I knew that, the following we had, they were coming. That's all I knew. And I was like, okay, this is how we do it. And then the people wouldn't stop coming through the door. And I
yep,
remember, and these two older women came through the door. I know I tell this story all the time. They came through the door, and because CCJ and I were first, like I don't know what they did at CCJ's table, but when they came to my table, they were like clutching their purses, like we're just looking, and we're like, okay, no problem. And then they came back a second time and they did virtually the same thing. They just stayed a little longer, but then the people wouldn't stop coming through the door. Like I was surprised how those people showed up for us, and then we ended up getting a line. A line. This is how this works. You get a line. And those women came back 2 to 3 times because they were asking the people, why does she have the line? Like, who is she? And they were like, go get her books. So that those women came back at least twice, possibly 3 times to buy books because it was just the energy and the air was magical. And it just made me remember the love and the energy in the room and just how beautiful we are as Black folk. I mean, I was just blown away. It was just like taking a dip in the warm pool all over again.
I would definitely agree on year one. Just because it's like you don't really like know what to expect. Like you know what you hope for, but you don't know what to expect. And it's like you almost kind of guard yourself, like you kind of keep your expectations a little low, like in case it doesn't go how it should. And then, you get those expectations just kind of blown out of the water. Like, oh, like they really showed up. Like all these people who, said they were coming, like, oh, they're actually here. Like they actually showed up. And not only did they show up, they came to spend money. Like they came to buy books. Like they came to really make something happen. And so about that, like the panels that year or like the crowd that year, I'm not sure what it was, but the energy was just the energy was very different, very good. But I feel like that was the year that just it's like it solidified, like, okay, Indie Love is like the event, to be at. This is one of those. Like this is one of those that it's like you can count on the readers to show up. You can count on, you can count on the energy to be good. You can count on, that you're gonna your peers that are there with you. Like it, I feel like that was like a really solidifying year. Articulate that.
No, I remember around that time, CCJ came to me and said, I feel like this is our staple event. I'm not articulating it the way she did.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. But I was excited about it because it was, in my mind, it's always been cinematic in that when you think about documentaries and how a story is being told and how there's so many moving parts. And I always saw that for Indie Love. I always saw us talking about, oh, this year, this happened, and it just being so big and just trying to narrow. I just always saw it like that. Like it was just, we were growing, we were building culture. And I remember saying Jocelyn, Joss, I know it's hard, but you got to stick to it. You're teaching culture, creating a culture here, and it doesn't know where it starts. You're just gonna have to be patient. We're setting culture here. I still believe that to this very day.
Yeah, she always, when I'm like, I think maybe we have run our course. She's like, I'm not hearing that. No, we're not. No, you just go, well, where do we still fit in the culture at all? Have we run our course? Is it time to pass the torch on to the others? And then one person that sends you an email or a text, that reaches out and it's like, I love it. It was my first year. I had so much a good time. Even with some of the negative stuff you hear, the good always outweighs the bad. So I plan to keep chugging along.
I feel like there's only one Indie Love, and I just believe in consistency and growing. And my personal experience with Indie Love, it's always been author based, if you will, because there's always, what can we do to make you comfortable? What do you think about this? What can you tell me how to make you more comfortable? What do you think about this? That's why it's always been a staple for Team Love.
What are you expecting for this year?
I'm expecting to be reminded of why. Like I'm like, oh, I'll sit out next year. It's not a big deal. And then you get there and you feel this love and this excitement, and then you're able to put faces to profile names, and then you're always surprised by someone's reaction to one of my clients or whatever. And it's just always a reminder of how strong this literary community is and how we share a magic, we share a thread, and we are all in the same room together and we're woven together. It's just beautiful. And just, oh my gosh, the beauty in the room, good high energy, honestly, pure magic. And it's something about when Black women, I had to learn that from these events. When Black women come together, with one agenda, and I don't even think it's always intentional. It's just who we are, and I
Yep.
feel that every time I attend an Indie Love event, and I get to see my bae too.
But I am absolutely looking forward to seeing people who I haven't seen, in all these years. And that's that. And I'm not only like, of course, my friends and my peers, but also a lot of these readers, because we have these people who are like at every event, or like they may not be at every event, but they've certainly been at every Indie Love.
At
They've
every
certainly
Indie
been at
Love.
every Indie Love. It's
Yes.
this very specific vibe, this very specific aura, this very specific energy that is in those rooms when all of these Black readers come together. And another thing I love seeing is like everybody's kind of debrief after. Like you're seeing everybody's pictures, and everybody is just so brown and beautiful and happy and you're
Yes.
seeing their hauls and stuff like that. And that has been like, I have been, oh, the jealousy out of me the last 2 years watching other people. Or yeah, the last 2 years watching other people. Like, I should be there hugging my friends. I should be so I am very much looking forward to all of it.